we're primed to do well out there. Can we handle the conditions? You know, maybe the times that they're changing. They're changing the kick-off times to deal with the heat. You know, we saw the Club World Cup. It was a bit of a struggle, right, for some teams who really struggled with the heat. So, look, we've got a great squad, loads of options. You know, we keep Harry Kane fit. He is the catalyst of us going to do the business. I think we'll be there or thereabouts. Whether we get it over the line, I don't know. But we're going to be one of the favourites for sure.
You heard Kane there say, you know, the outside noise is that, you know, that they should have breezed through this group.
Yeah.
You know, but do they deserve more credit for the way they've approached it and the job they've done?
Well, look, you expect England to qualify now. You know, with the players that we've got, the talent that we've got, you expect them to go and win. But it's the manner that they've gone on and done it. You know, the last maybe 4 games I've seen with Thomas Tuchel, I've seen a Thomas Tuchel team. And they've looked good. They've looked strong, defensively good, brilliant going forward. You know, we're looking now at the players that he likes to play in certain areas. So, yeah, of course they deserve credit. Of course they deserve credit. But they should qualify, right? We know that. It's when it matters now. You know, quarterfinals, semi-finals. That's why Thomas Tuchel's the manager, to get him over the line where Gareth Southgate would say didn't, you know, maybe have enough to get us to win a tournament. Thomas Tuchel's there to do that. We're going to qualify now pretty much every time. We've got so many good players.
We'll talk about some of the players and some of the ones who are...
It's a good team, though. I did mention, Jules, sorry.
Go on, then. I was going to move on, but carry on. Go on.
The fact that they mentioned they're using team a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's about. You know, we've seen players missing out, Grealish, Bellingham, players like that missing out. Tuchel wants a team, and it's about the team. Who's the best players for the team? Harry Kane mentioning team, and that's key. It's not a group of individuals. You're not just turning up because you're the best players. You're coming together, building relationships, and building a great side. And that for me is, I liked that from Harry Kane. Speaking
of the team, and speaking of many big names who were missing from that England squad, includes Everton's Jack Grealish, of course. His club manager, David Moyes, can understand why he wasn't included, but he thinks the midfielder does want to play for his national team again.
I think he's been out a little while, and maybe he's got a bit more to prove to the manager, which I totally understand. But his form's been good, and you know, I think he's in a good place at the moment, Jack, where he's saying, I hope I can play for England again, but if I don't, it won't be the end for me, because he's back enjoying his football again and playing well, and he's certainly adored here. It's amazing how the crowd have taken to him.
Yeah, he thinks maybe Grealish has got a bit more to prove to Thomas Tuchel. What does he have to do to get back in, do you think, Grealish?
Well, he's got to keep playing well. Just keep producing moments, you know, keep doing what he's doing at Everton. I think he started the season in really good form. He's making things happen. He looks like he's got his confidence back to go and drive with the ball, to take players on. I think under Pep, he was very regimental, robotic. He's a free spirit, Jack. You just got to let him play. Give him the ball, make things happen. And if he keeps doing that, then, you know, he's knocking on the door. We'll see.
Would you like to see him back in the England squad?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd love to see as many good players in top form as possible. Jack Grealish is a top player. So if he's back in the England team, it's because he's doing something right. So, of course, I want to see him in there. Does he get in there? I don't know. But there's so many good players now in positions that we're seeing players who might miss out. But, yeah, of course I'd love to see Jack in there.
Jude Bellingham wasn't in this squad, and that was the manager's decision. Does he have anything to worry about long term?
That's a good question now. I don't know. Yes, I would say. I think he's not guaranteed. I think a lot of people would say that Jude Bellingham was a guaranteed starter with England, along with your Harry Kanes, your Declan Rice, Jordan Pickford. You know, I think before Thomas Tuchel, you would say Bellingham was a guaranteed starter. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know, because why did he not pick him? You can put it down to whether his fitness, he hasn't played. But, you know, we've seen other players who haven't been playing for their teams and still, you know, going away with England. So, yeah, I would be worried. I think he's got to produce. I think he's got to perform. I think he's got to be willing to be part of a team. You know, maybe he's not the guaranteed starter that he was, and he's got to prove his place again, because there's been some players who have come into that England squad, like Elliot Anderson, who have been absolutely superb in that position. You know, and there's so many good players at number 10 now in Cole Palmer, Morgan Gibbs-White, players that can play in that role. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get in there.
And listen, we're not behind closed doors. We don't see the relationship between Bellingham and Tuchel. We don't know how Bellingham behaves. But there's all this talk about his arrogance as a player. But actually, arrogance, belief,
Yeah.
self-confidence. Aren't these all qualities that if England are going to win a World Cup, they need in their team?
Yeah, look, people talk about arrogance quite a lot, and it annoys me a bit because I think when you're English, you're not allowed to be arrogant. It's like you're not allowed to be arrogant. Do you know how many foreign players are arrogant? They come over here and think they're the best player in the world. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dimitar Berbatov, I played with him. He was arrogant. But that's what made him the best, because he believed that he was the best. He believed that he was something different. He believed he was special. It's like you're not allowed to have a bit of arrogance about you when you're a footballer. You can't be arrogant. What do you mean? You've got to be arrogant on a football pitch. You've got to go out there with your chest out and play like you're the best player on the pitch. And sometimes that can come off like, oh, he's a bit arrogant, he's not a team player. Jude Bellingham's a team player. Plays for Real Madrid. So he's been one of the best players over the last few seasons. He drove them towards Champions League finals. So don't tell me that he's not a team player or he's about himself. Jude Bellingham's a great player. He's been injured. He's had his moments. He needs to get back in there. He needs to shine again with Thomas Tuchel. But I hate all this. Oh, he's too arrogant. He's not. He's not arrogant.
Well, also we saw at the Euros, didn't we? He's the man for the big moment and the big occasion.
Yeah, and people will say that was.
So can England win a World Cup without Jude Bellingham?
Yes, yeah, yes, we can. Yeah, but I get asked this question. Of course we want Jude Bellingham in there. Of course we do. We want Jack Grealish in there. We want all the best English players we can in top form in there. If he's not performing or he doesn't see eye to eye with Thomas Tuchel for whatever reason that is, or Thomas Tuchel doesn't feel like he fits in the system that he wants to play, well, there's a reason behind it. Thomas Tuchel is the manager, and we've got to believe in what he can do with this England side. And right now, 6 games, no goals. Now, he's the man for the job. This is what we expected from him, and he's gone and done the business. So he's going to go to a World Cup with an amazing group of players. And, of course, we want Bellingham there, but if he's not there, we can still win it. Of course we can. We've got Cole Palmer. We've got Morgan Gibbs-White. Anthony Gordon. We've got brilliant players in there who can produce in big moments as well. Cole Palmer scored in the final of the Euros. So we've got players that can produce. So without Harry Kane, you take Harry Kane out of our team, we can't win a World Cup. That's simple.
Of his starting 11 in that first game at the World Cup, right now, on what he's seen in the last couple of camps, how close do you think he is to knowing that 11? How many places nailed down, would you say?
It's a great question. I would say Jordan Pickford, Mark Gay, John Stones. And then
Loves Reece James, doesn't he?
Reece James, I think, because he knows him, he trusts him. If he's fit, the big one is obviously Reece James being fit. I think left back still up for grabs. Lewis Skelly can have a great season. Jed Spence, there's a few names in the hat for that. Declan Rice is a shoo-in. Harry Kane's a shoo-in. Bukayo Saka's a shoo-in.
That's 12. No, it's not far. So I think it's probably
there's
9,
maybe 4.
Maybe 9.
I think there's 4 maybe. Look, Elliot Anderson, I think, has got a really good chance now because of the way he's performed. I think that position's up for grab. I think the number 10's up for grab. Left winger's up for grab and the left back's up for grabs. I think apart from that, I think we probably know whereabout. As long as these players are fit, things can change. But if the players are fit, I think that's the team.